This is my rant. I don't want to hear nothing else after this. Allie, when I finish, you end the call. Russell Westbrook is a top 5 point guard of all time. Period.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
What up? What up?
Welcome to Road Trippin. I feel like we're a little Zen mode this morning. Channing Frye with his horns over his head. Richard Jefferson, I'm Allie Clifton, and you already know Big Perk. He's on the way. Okay, side note. Not that I didn't know. I just hadn't taken it upon myself to look this up because obviously the best time of year for college basketball is upon us, March Madness. Shall we place a bet? You've got the MAC, I'm taking the field versus Arizona, 13 versus 4. You never know. Crazier things have happened. You guys can ponder on that. Good for Kendrick Perkins. That dude went straight from high school to the pros. Why did you guys see that? He was that legit?
Yeah. Allie, he was huge. And this is a Shaq era. Like Al Jefferson went to the pros, Jill Green, Kendrick Perkins, Tyson Chandler, Eddie Curry.
Again, people are going to crush me because they're going to be like, how does she not know? No, it's just not something they look up. I think about his NBA career, and now here we are, March Madness. And I was like, Perk, what was his path? Who would he be taking? And
this is, I will say this joke once he gets on here, but you can't tell.
No, this is the thing. It's not funny coming from a private school kid. It's not.
I didn't want to go to private school.
No, I don't give a fuck what it. No, oh, they made me go to this higher education, elite private.
Like I know not higher education.
I know the beginning. You can't. I'm from Phoenix. I played against your high school. I know. Look at his face.
It's not even known for academics. It's known for sports.
Okay.
I think he's the public school kid over here. What's wrong with the private school?
No, what I'm saying though is that if you're going to crack joke about someone's education as a privileged private school kid, that just comes across a little different. That comes across a little different than like two public school kids. That's all.
Oh my God. Here we go.
Public school education over here. Okay.
Technically, my education was not that good until I went to St. Mary's. So
there's nothing worse than a privileged kid trying to talk about how look, it was hard. Remember when he had D Wade? It was like, no, look, so we didn't always have cable in our house, and D Wade was like, Channing, sometimes we didn't have heat.
Yeah, he's like, I used to sleep next to my siblings' feet. And used to freeze.
Yeah, and Channing was like, no, I didn't get a car when I turned 16. Like, I had to get better grades. I got it when I was 17. It's like, oh.
Have you ever walked to school?
My dad bought me a car from the impound place. It was
again.
Just hear me out. 1971 Chevy pickup with no AC, no power steering, no radio.
That was nicer than my parents' car.
Yeah,
Richard, no, it wasn't. No, it was not. Richard, I had to put down the Navajo blankets because when you hit it, he got it from an impound. It was a farmer's car. So when you would hit it,
what's wrong with a farmer's car?
Again,
Allie, what was the first tractor you got, Allie?
He's trying to not come across, and he's insulting everyone down the line. I'm like, that was nicer than my parents' car. He's like, no, what? I'm like, yes, it was.
So instead, he relates it to a farmer's car.
Oh my God!
Listeners on here, Janet.
We had a single cab. Pickup truck my dad had, and it was so it'd be like hit me, him, and my mom. Like
that's what I had.
You had it, but that was your high school kid car. That wasn't your family car, bro. That was her family car.
Okay, that's a little different. Did you have
AC? I want to take you back to the story when I used to think at the start of this podcast over 300 episodes ago that Richard was so mean to Channing. Everyone thought Rich was so mean to Channing, and now I'm praising Richard for keeping Channing honest.
Yeah.
Allie, what was the first tractor you got?
Oh, see now.
Down here, bitch.
Down here, as you said.
Asshole. Okay, with all of that said, I really wish Perk was here. It would have been great timing. Do you guys?
Oh, I heard you.
I love
great.
It.
Down here, bitch.
There he is, our guy. Kendrick, I was just talking about the fact that I could not believe that Channing and Rich had to go to college. They couldn't go straight to the NBA like you. With the tournament on hand for us, I was like, my God, Perk, you were such a stud.
Well, I appreciate it, Allie. Hey, look, it's only a few that was selected to the University of Cavs. You know what I'm saying? Me, Cole, KG. You know what I'm saying? Tracy
Tyson Chandler, Eddie Curry,
McGrady. You know what I mean? It's
Indy
only a
Eby,
select few. Jermaine O'Neal.
Gerald
You
Green,
know what I mean? And listen,
Monte Ellis.
yeah, but Monte Ellis, Al
That list is a
Jefferson.
little longer than you think.
Yeah. But
A lot of
you know
Mississippi
what?
guys, which is weird.
Can I say this though, real quick? I was going to the University of Memphis. I had signed with John Calipari. You know the one thing that sold me on with the University of Memphis. Number one, the NIL before the NIL. Okay, that was my first time ever being on the private jet. Okay, then number two, I had narrowed it down to Texas, UNC, Memphis, and Miami. Don't ask me why I was going to the University of Miami. My visit was great. I will leave it at that. Here's the thing. John Calipari was the only one that said, "Hey, Perk, you know what? They got you projected this year. If you come out of high school to go to the draft, late first round, early second round, I want you to come here for 1 year. I don't want you 2 years, 3 years, 1 year, and I will make sure that you're a lottery pick next year." So, all right, cool. So I went test the waters. I got a guarantee for Boston at late first round. I was like, I'm out.
You remember Desanya Diop?
Yeah.
Sagana Yap. His name was actually Sagana Yap.
Yeah,
he was in my class.
He didn't learn that at private
Cisse
school.
was a monster in high school.
Usman Cisse.
Travis Outlaw, James Lang, Sean Livingston. Hey, do you remember the oh my goodness, what are those dudes called? The Viking, Robert Swift. He ended up going through some issues.
Yeah.
Hey,
but he was a big
Josh,
boy.
JR, Darrell, Martell,
CJ,
CJ, yeah, Monte Ellis, Lou Williams, Andre Black, Amir Johnsons.
So many
That's
people.
crazy.
So look, Channing was different. Like I had to make a decision, right? Channing obviously had to go to college. I made a decision as a McDonald's All-American. I was like, do I want to enter myself? I was like kind of deciding in between. And then I realized that I would have been fucking obliterated had I tried to go to the NBA first.
Didn't you go to college for 3 years, Richard?
You had a chance to go straight to the NBA too?
No, he did not.
I was raw. I can let me put it this way. Let me say this. So our freshman year was the lockout, the original like OG lockout in the 90s, right? And so Mike Bibby, Michael Dickerson, and Miles Simon, they worked out with us on campus our freshman year. And I think I might have told this story. Michael Dickerson, you know Mike. Do you know Mike D at all? Perk? Michael Dickerson, was he around in Houston when you was early? Anyways, Michael Dickerson was amazing. He was the 14th pick in the draft. He was the 14th pick in the draft that year. So I go, and he would have been a player I would have been working out against if I would have tried to go straight out of high school. He destroyed me on a level that was so bad, I went back to my dorm room and started going to class. Because I was like, oh, if I have to be that good to be the 14th pick in the draft, I'm never going to fucking make it. I better start going to class.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, Michael Dickerson was one of the reasons why they won the national championship. He was ridiculous, got hurt, and just wasn't the same after like his 5th or 6th year. But he was ridiculous.
Damn.
Yeah, but no, I couldn't have gone. Channing, definitely not chance. No chance.
Before we dive into the NBA stuff, Channing, don't you have a bracket challenge going on with you and Chosen?
Yep, we do. So go to the Chosen link and then hit it. It's $30. Come on in there. I got some nice prizes if you win, but you ain't gonna beat me because no one else is gonna pick Arizona to win it. So, dude, how about the games? The games last night were kind of crazy.
The NBA?
No. The college games.
I didn't even know there were college games on.
Alabama
the tournament
State
is here, Richard.
Wait, the NCAA tournament when does that start?
It's tomorrow.
But
but it was here today.
So what games were last night?
The play-in games.
Oh, fuck out of here.
No. North Carolina.
UNC,
remember?
For people to be so mad at them to even get an opportunity there, and for them to do what they did to San Diego State, like what?
Dude, listen, I was listening
See, I didn't pay
to
attention.
what the coaches had to say about North Carolina and San Diego State. And they were like, San Diego State is the best at this and the best at that and the best at this. And I was like, I think they about to get their ass whooped. And I saw how North Carolina, they were like, well, if you let North Carolina do A, B, C, and D, they're actually very good. Just everyone in the ACC is also good. So they don't let them do A, B, C, and D. San Diego must not have got that scouting report because North Carolina was doing anything and everything they wanted to do. And once they started to get up by 18, 20, San Diego State is a really young team. And they just kind of they were like, screw it, it's over. Like, we're done. And that's when they started getting mollywopped out there.
It's so much fun. The tournament is so much fun. So yeah, if you guys want to place a bet with me, I'm really good at betting, especially against you, Channing.
Allie, sign up. You know who I'm good at betting against? Perkins.
Perk.
Listen, it should be a rule on here. You know what? Y'all should not be allowed to call me Perkins or Kendrick. Damn it, we family.
You want to know why? Hang on. You want to know why we call you Perkins?
When y'all put that
Because
shit
you
in the
like
group,
pie?
Because Perk, I have had to
Perky
get a
Lurky?
hold of you over the last year a couple of times. And there was a stretch where every number I called that I thought was Perk or Kendrick Perkins, that was not your number. So I just got to a point where I had to put in a name for you that I just hadn't used yet. And it became Perkins. And so when I at you, it just comes up as the contact as I have you on my phone, because I know that that's the working number that I can get a hold of you on. So I apologize. That's why we call you Perkins. And then Channing just follows my lead because that's what Channing does. He's a good
Perkins, because I figure you like pie, so that's what.
Yeah. You can see that cul-de-sac coming in under that sunlight.
Let it go.
I think it's the
Let
light.
it go.
It's the light. It's the light.
No, it's a little thin.
Light.
Hey, that's a little thin. It's a little good. You hanging on them last few threads up there, huh?
The cul-de-sac, that's what you guys call that?
Yeah, the cul-de-sac. That's when the hairs start to go right here.
Yeah, so you start to get them power lanes.
Where does Austin Reaves, we're diving in, where does Austin Reaves rank on your best third options in the NBA right now?
Fourth?
Top 5, probably.
Yeah, 4.
But
I was just saying,
ahead,
top
Bert.
5. Third option?
Yeah, third option.
I would say 3. Obviously, Kristaps Porzingis ranks number 1. What?
What? No.
What you mean, no?
Jalen Williams on OKC is better than he is.
Better than Kristaps Porzingis?
Yes. Stop it. Don't do that. Has Porzingis been an all-star in the last 10 years?
Bro, listen.
We're talking this year.
You just said last
10 years.
10 years.
No. I just said, has Porzingis been an all-star in the last 10 years? Like, dog, no. Dude, what are we doing? That's ridiculous. We're starting off with this.
Let him finish his thought.
What are we doing? Kristaps Porzingis, the effect he has on the Boston Celtics, number 1, he ups their level defensively. When you have 7-3 anchoring your defense, you're allowed to get super aggressive on the wings. Number 2, he gives the Celtics that balance that they need offensively. Like the Celtics with Kristaps Porzingis just look like a team like that plays horrible basketball because the amount of threes that they shoot. Floor. They shoot the same, similar to the same when he's on, but when they're not hitting threes. Just last year when he was healthy the whole season, you know who was ranked number 1 in post-ups? It wasn't Jokic. It wasn't Embiid. It was Kristaps Porzingis. They utilized that fucking mismatch, dog. When teams try to switch, they go, hey, big fella, either get to that nail, go to work. Hey, big fella, go down there on that low block, go to work. Dallas if Kristaps Porzingis wouldn't have came back, that series would have probably went 7 games. Instead, he made that much of a difference. Even this year, go look at his number. Let me, motherfucker.
While you're looking that up, Perk, I will give Channing credit.
Jeez.
KP has been in the league for 8 years, and he hasn't been an all-star for the last 7.
Thank
I'll
you.
give
He said
I'll
10
give you a
years.
little bit there.
No, I said 10.
He
I'm
said
exaggerating.
10 years. That's his fault. We answered the
But he
question.
hasn't been in the
Porzingis has
league
only
for
been in
10
the
years.
league
He's been
8
deployed.
years. Wow,
Yeah,
it feels
yeah.
like so much more than that.
But Allie, Shannon, RJ,
No,
we're talking
wait,
about
but Perk, before, just hear me out. I'm gonna let you finish. Before we start just focusing on Porzingis, let's continue down the list because Channing, don't get sidetracked. A 5-minute explanation.
Yeah, you know that.
So I know I believe we align. Continue down who you think.
So I think next we go to the Oklahoma City Thunder, whether it's Jalen Williams or Chet Holmgren. I don't know which one is the third option, which is a great thing. Like, I think to a lot of people may say Jalen Williams is the second option because he made the All-Star game. But I believe if Chet wouldn't have gotten injured at the first in this season, he would have actually been the All-Star, right? I just been looking at how he's playing. Then I go to Austin Reaves. Right? Do I think Austin Reaves will ever make an All-Star game? No. Right? I don't. But I don't, Allie. I don't think he will ever have an opportunity to make an All-Star game. That's
on
not
the Lakers or just in general?
Just in general. That's not an indictment on him.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And so I think he's number 3. Like, I think he's number 3. Anytime you're able to still put up big numbers across the board and fill up the stat sheet playing alongside Braun and Luka, you're doing something. And I have a quick question for y'all. I was trying to figure out, because a guy like Austin Reaves, he's not a role player, but he's not an all-star. What is the name for those type of guys? You see what I'm saying? Like, Derek White's not a role player, but he's not an all-star. We got to come up with a name for those
Rising
guys
star?
that's like in between.
No, because it's not rising. They're there. But wait. But Perk, let me say
Well,
this.
he's not
right?
there if he's not a star.
I think no. But I think no. I think that there's a bunch of people that are above him, right? Because we talk about this, Austin Reaves. Like, when you talk about really Drew Holiday and Derek White, that's why the Boston Celtics are so elite, is because they got multiple people that you could say could be there. Same with Cleveland. Who's their third best player? Because you got DeAndre Hunter, right?
Darius Garland.
You got Darius Garland. Look, with all due respect to Austin, like DG is better than Austin, right?
Aaron Gordon is better than Austin Rivers or Austin Reaves.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
he's their third option.
So, but again, but Michael Porter Jr. Is he their third option? That's what that shows you some of the teams when we talk about true thirds, like, because you're talking about big. They didn't say big 3. They said third option. You notice how they didn't want to include them as the big 3 yet. They're like, who's the best third option? Kind of like when Kyle Kuzma was the third scorer on that Laker team. It wasn't a big 3. He was the third option on the offensive end. So that's where you distinct between a big 3 and then a great third star. So Austin is a very, very good third player, But really quick, Perk, there is a formula for him to get as an all-star. There is a formula. The formula is very similar to like Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren. If they get up, like, let's say next year, hypothetically, he continues his gradual increase of success. So now he's averaging 18. Let's say the Lakers are number 2 in the West at the all-star break, are 35 games in, and Austin Reaves has been balling, right? That is how he gets the all-star game. There is a path, but he is contingent not on his success, but on how well his team is doing. If OKC was in the 5th spot, Jalen Williams would not have been an all-star. The fact that they were number 1, the fact that the Cavs got 3 all-stars is because of where they were positioned in the standings. So to me, Austin Reaves can be an all-star. If the last 30 games he played this season, if those were his first 30 games and people were voting, and the Lakers were number 2 with the number 1 defense, and he was doing what he was doing, he would be an all-star. We've all seen it. Wally Szczerbiak has an all-star. Devin Harris has an all-star. Pisses me off, right? So what I'm saying is that there is a formula for him to be an all-star. I can't say they will be an all-star.
You jealous?
Fuck yeah, I'm jealous. I can't stand that. He knows it too. He knows it. He talks about that shit. But I'm saying there is path for a guy like him to be an all-star. His team has to be playing well, and he's got to have a great fucking first 30 games. If someone would have said Norman Powell was ever going to be an all-star at the beginning of the season, and be like, well, not with these guys. He's got James Harden. He's got these guys on his team. You're going to tell me that Austin Reaves isn't as good as Norman Powell? Yeah, everybody getting real fucking quiet right now. So, yes, he can be an all-star, but the formula for him is just a little bit more contingent on how his team is and how his first 30 games are.
Okay, so Perk gave his top three options. What is yours, Channing?
I think I'm going to clarify this and not use players that have made an all-star team. So I'm not going to use Evan Mobley and Darius Garland. That's too easy, right? I'm not going to use – Porzingis is up there. I have Aaron Gordon. To me, I think Jokic, Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon. There was one more that I was missing.
Is Austin better than Michael Porter Jr.?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. One team that I think is like, I don't care who you think are 1 and 2 between Ja and Jaren Jackson Jr., but Desmond Bane, when he gets opportunity, balls out. He's a great third option. I think we don't talk about that. And then, now you would look and we'll see like what happens the rest of this year. Is Jimmy Butler a third option or is that Draymond?
No, Draymond's not an option. Draymond is not an option. From the space, Kuminga would be their third offensive option if we were to break it down like in that space.
Then in that case, who's the third option for the Clippers? Kawhi Leonard?
And this is
No. Norman Powell.
All in context.
Norman Powell's the
right
second
now.
option.
Thank you, Allie.
This is all in context of right now. Because of what Austin Reaves is doing, this is why we're having this conversation. So as of right now, not 10 years ago, not 4 years in the future.
Wait.
Right now, Kawhi Leonard is the third option.
Okay, well, yeah, hold on, really quickly, to your point, I hear you. Let me just, I don't want to speak out of turn. Hold on a second. There we go, box score. Kawhi had 33 last night, 12 of 19, 5 of 6, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals, in beating the Cavs. So
last night, Austin has averaged 30 over the last 4, as we're talking.
So he's saying Kawhi Leonard's the third option. I'm saying no, Kawhi Leonard's just getting healthy. Kawhi's just getting healthy, and Kawhi looked like that motherfucker last night against the Cavs and that team. He was 33, 7, 4, and 4, 5 of 6 from 3, 12 of 19, and 35 fucking minutes. That's the scary Kawhi. That's the very, very. Sadly, we haven't seen it enough, Kawhi. But don't put him in that same class as the third, because when that motherfucker right, he's different.
Well, listen, he must be doing a lot of lefts because he ain't been right for a while. So,
but now that he's right, Norman Powell played 18 minutes, 3 for 6. You know what I'm saying? 11 points.
Didn't get hurt, but it doesn't matter. Here we go.
So who's your top 3, Channing? Let's get back to it.
Top 3, and I'm now going to include who I want to include. Fuck y'all. Cleveland, Darius Garland, Oklahoma City. I think the third option is Jalen Williams. I think Chet. Here's why I say third option. If Oklahoma City or Cleveland had to choose between Darius Garland or Evan Mobley, they're picking Evan Mobley. If you had to choose between Chet or Jalen Williams, they're picking Chet.
Yeah.
It's just so that's why I said Jalen Williams is the third option. And then in Denver, I have Aaron Gordon is the third option. And he balled out against Golden State. He was acting up. I've seen AG since a rookie. I ain't seen that AG since Orlando. I don't know what got into him. He was doing shit I ain't seen him do since workouts. I said, brother, he with confidence. And just to get on this Golden State thing, I thought that was a huge tell for how real teams view them, right? I think, Denver is notoriously bad without Jokic. They were out there like, that was a new team. And that's scary.
Also, we talked Russell Westbrook.
Wow, 16 assists.
But that's what I'm saying. That looked like old Russ, where it's like, no Jamal, no Jokic. The ball's in my hands 100% of the time. He didn't care if he knocked down a 3, airballed a 3, made a layup, missed it. He was going and balling. But that's Russ. When Russ isn't constrained. When he is in his flow, and he's just allowed to dictate the pace. And he was dropping passes left. He was doing like he looked like MVP Russ than Aaron Gordon ball. My point to your thing is that he was helping to make Golden State be on their heels.
Yeah.
Perk.
From a mentality standpoint, I'm glad y'all brought up Russ. It's only two guys, seriously, that give you a certain level of confidence on the road that when you're getting off that fucking bus in that tunnel on the road game and going into that arena, you have this type of swag about yourself that I played with, right? That like it's like they're walking in, and it's no slight at Braun or Paul Pierce or KD. Russ and KG give you a certain type of energy and swag walking into an arena. And I said this, I was actually on that game where I was like, pregame, and I was like, the Golden State Warriors better not sleep on this Nuggets team, because I'm telling you right now, that motherfucker Russ gonna come out swinging. He is going to set the tone, which we could dive into this conversation later about what Russ ranked for us all time, like for his PGs in the history of the game, because it's a conversation that needs to be had, a real conversation. But it was just, when I watched that game, this is what I got from it. We've all been on here talking about those non-Jokic minutes. Richard, you highlighted on here, right, about Michael Malone, and never, like, he hasn't put a system in place outside of Jokic. Like, Jokic goes off the floor, and we're like, what the fuck are those guys doing, right? And then all of a sudden, you got to bring Jokic back in. Like, Jokic is exhausted. The offense is ran through him. Some level of accountability got to be there when it comes down to fucking Michael Malone. But I will say this. Aaron Gordon came out like, hey, coach, look at me. I can actually fucking play. Hey, coach, look at me. If you kick it ahead to me in transition, I actually can attack that off the dribble and actually get downhill and finish in traffic. Hey, coach, look at me. You actually can run a post up for me when Jokic is playing. So it's like, it was one of those moments to me where Aaron Gordon was saying, hey, like, we love Jokic. We would never take him for granted. But hey, I could actually hoop. Like, you could actually come down and actually run some real sets that is not ran through Jokic for me to get the ball. Meaning,
like in a non-Jokic minutes, hey, this is going to be like Jamal Murray. We try to make you the featured person and take you know what I'm saying? And then it's like, hey, forget it. Let's throw the post into AG for 5 possessions. We'll play through him. Like, we'll let him
shoot. Just unselfish enough to do those minutes, because you can't just go here, because and here's the truth, and this is not a knock on Kyrie, and everyone listen. When I first got there, Kyrie played with that second unit, and we had the best spacing. The problem was Kyrie would get a switch and we'd all stand.
Yeah.
I'm not the best defender. If I'm not out there shooting, they're like, hey, man, we're going at Channing on the other end. So I'm fucking doing cardio, just playing defense, not touching the ball. So Braun saw this after a few games. We weren't really getting that lead. He switched. He came out early, right? And he said, hey, we're going to run these 2 or 3 plays in the second unit. And that's all we're going to run.
Motherfuckers.
Murdered. Because he would catch, and he was like, oh, this is who's on me. I score once. Double team, swing. Richard gets a cut. Swing, double team 3.
We scored, was it 10 or 11 straight possessions against Toronto?
In Toronto.
In the exact same play. But the point is more of how you use that second unit and who you play with that second unit can dictate the gap between having a -5 and a +8. That's a huge gap over the course. And once we figured that out in the regular season, we were able to maintain that in the postseason. And that's why, was it Braun and you guys in Indiana came back? We came back in Toronto. We had
remember in New York, we were down 23 or something like that. And T. Lube was like, man, y'all get on the fucking bench. And all the second unit goes, all right, like, we just get to hoop. It was Korver, Swish, me, Braun, Richard was there. I don't think Richard was there. I don't know. Did they get rid of you yet or not?
I played with Corver. I played with Corver one year.
Okay. So, dude, I can't remember, but every shot we shot, we're going in. And then Indiana, it was even worse. But here's the real question. I looked at who Golden State had beat while they're 14-1. Now, 14-1 is tough. You win who you win against. The only 3 playoff teams that they beat, or 4, where they beat New York twice without Jalen Brunson. They beat Orlando and Detroit. And I think they had 1 against Milwaukee, but we see that Milwaukee is kind of boo-boo. What does this say?
Wins.
Huh?
They have no real wins to make non-believers believers. And I'm a non-believer.
About Golden State?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
I just don't. Yeah, they don't rebound very well.
Minnesota and Golden State both have easy cakewalk. Like their schedule is easy as hell for the remaining of the season. So and rightfully so, they need to win those games, but I need to see them against the top dogs. I'm a non-believer in them. I don't, and it's not a slight. I just don't think they're legit title contenders.
I just don't think they're big enough. They
Wait.
can't rebound.
They're not.
They can't rebound.
Look, I'm not saying that Steph and Jimmy. I'm not saying that they can't win a championship. What I am saying is, given I understand that, but I think given the construction of their team, I think the reality for them is probably a notch below that, right? If they were to lose to OKC, if they were to lose a certain team, I don't think it would be like this glaring, oh my God, Golden State didn't have a good season or Golden State. But I think that they're in a space where they went from non-relevant to an actual in the mix, right? They're in the mix for who is the second or third best team in the conference, right? And I think they're even below Denver and Lakers by a smidge right now, but I still think that they're working through their flow. I think
in a series, do you have Houston or do you have Golden State?
I'm saying Golden State back. Pajemski is healthy. So now all of a sudden, when you get your healthy group of players, I think they have a pretty good roster that can cause some problems.
Let me ask you guys this, because obviously 2 through 5 is not anywhere set yet for especially the Western Conference, but I've been listening to you, Perk, a lot lately, and it's a testament to OKC, and I hear what you're saying. You have them very high. You're rolling with the Thunder. Who is the best team in the Western Conference to keep them from going to the finals? Who has the best chance?
Ooh.
Is there a team?
Denver.
Why Denver?
Because at the end of the day, they got the biggest bully in the fucking NBA next to Giannis. Hey, listen, Hartenstein, 2 quickies, homie. Oh, you gonna double? Wink, wink, wink. Oh, what now? Who guard Chet?
Wink,
Chet? Wink, wink, wink. Listen, Chet, you saw it, man. Look, don't.
Shannon.
They're not big enough. They're not big enough.
Are you fucking serious?
Oklahoma City has Hartenstein. He's big. Chet is tall. He's not big.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah,
they got
tall.
Bro, they got you. You are really tripping. They the Jalen Williams who comes off the bench,
it's
not
6'6". Oh, okay, my bad.
Obviously, don't watch them as close as I do. Jalen Williams that comes in off the bench, bro, them dudes are dangerous. Let me tell you something about OKC.
Can they guard Jokic?
Huh?
How many people are going to guard Jokic? Just say 3.
What's their record versus Denver?
They're 2-2. They split the series.
Don't get Perk started on all the defensive numbers and calculations.
I
want to see the other side.
One team. Perk, you said the one team. I'm picking the one team with the best player in the NBA.
He said the one team, Perk, and they're 2-2. They're 2-2.
So you must not watch. You must not be watching.
I do watch. The second fucking game that they got was on a back-to-back, bro. It was okay. I'm just saying.
Jokic had the sniffles.
Oh my God.
Listen, dog. I'm telling you straight up. You are another. First of all, I'm not even arguing. The Oklahoma City Thunder, they're going to the NBA Finals. They're going to the NBA Finals, and we're arguably seeing one of the best defensive teams ever. Alex Shannon haven't heard this, so I gotta ramble this shit off. First in defensive rating.
You know I work for NBA TV, right?
Hold on. Be quiet. First in defensive rating, first in half-court defense, first in rim protection, first in defense versus on-ball screens, first in defense versus drives, first in defense versus isolation, first in defense, first in deflections per game, first in steals per game, first in opponent turnover rate, first in points per game off turnovers. Like, what?
Yeah, they average 22 deflections a game, Perk. I work for the NBA. I get these stats all the time. We did this segment 2 weeks ago. You're late.
No, I'm not late because I'm not late. I'm just saying.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
No. But seriously though, Shannon, listen. What made me be like, you know what? This team is serious. They go into Boston. No Jalen Williams, right? And win convincingly. I'm talking about like, oh shit, no Alex Caruso, by the way. Then you stroll up into Milwaukee. no Jalen Williams, no Luke Dort. I'm like, oh shit, what's about to happen? Isaiah Hartenstein and Chet put on a big fucking show. So they could go small with Chet at the 5. They could go big because now Chet is shooting the shit out of that tray ball. Man, this team is serious, man. And you know this. I don't know if y'all ever played in a series where you have to go to OKC in the postseason. You talk about a loud ass arena.
Wait. OKC has the MVP, right? They have the MVP, the most consistent, best player in this league. Now, Jokic's numbers are off the chart, but it was, again, consistent. Like, we got to give it to Chet with his 20-point a game streak. Like, he's got the most this, he's got the most that. That means he is consistently doing that. Jokic is having a historic, he's going to average a triple-double, be the second player to do it in the last 50 years, right? Awesome. We're not disputing that. But if we're talking about who is the next best team, like the Lakers is the unknown, and we're on the call with UD. Lakers have an unknown. Denver has a known. They have a known. They've proven that they can win a championship with Jokic as the best player. They've proven that Jamal Murray and Jokic can put in every pick and roll and have teams go at them, and they can still come out on top at the end of the series. Even the most elite defensive team we saw last year, Denver, like, took them to the brink, right? Congratulations to Minnesota. Lakers, we haven't seen Jokic, or we haven't seen Luka get put in every pick and roll in a series and still win a championship. So give me the known versus the unknown. That doesn't mean it can't change. It doesn't mean it can't change.
Let me give you a known here. Okay, so I'm
looking. Thank you, Allie.
I'm looking at the Thunder. I'm just going to give you a team. I'm looking at the Thunder's 12 losses this year when it comes to the Western Conference. You mentioned they've lost to Denver twice. They've lost to Golden State twice. They've lost to Dallas 3 times. Obviously, Dallas is not the same team. We take them out. The one team that they've lost to twice.
Minnesota.
Because
they got out-rebounded.
Is there an opportunity that we see that in the West Finals at all? And could they?
Minnesota looks good, man. Minnesota
do look good, but Allie, let me put some content, okay? When it comes down to that Minnesota, it was another back-to-back. They just played each. By the way, whoever came, I love Adam Silver. But can we please take that shit out of the schedule? Like, I don't want to continue to keep the back-to-back games where the teams are playing each other back-to-back nights. Oh, we got OKC.
Oh, like the same teams, you mean?
Yes, because what ended up happening,
back-to-back nights, or like you saying back-to-back, or like with a day in between.
No, back-to-back nights.
No,
so they played OKC, Denver, and then Denver.
Yeah, they played back-to-back. Like, they played Sunday, then they turned around and played again on Monday. And it's like, not like.
Yeah, that went back to the COVID shit.
Okay, so
I don't mind that, because a lot of times we look at the schedule, and again, there's less travel involved. That's why you do it. 1, there's less travel, and 2, both teams are coming off a back-to-back, so they have the exact same. Now, you might want a different change in the schedule, but you have the exact same situation, because it's like, well, they lost to Denver, but it was on a back-to-back. Motherfucker, it was a back-to-back for both of them.
Yeah. So
I
look,
don't mind it.
this is what I will say about that Minnesota game.
Okay.
It was I believe that Thursday before the All-Star break. They played on that Wednesday. I thought, you go into Minnesota, guys kind of like, I got my bags packed. I ain't trying to make no excuses. I'm just saying. Now look, they're gonna have.
And I will give you this. It was 116-101 in that game, and then the next time they played them on the 24th after the All-Star break, it was a 131-128 game.
One what?
Okay. What else we got?
Should we go over to the Eastern Conference?
Yeah.
The loss for the Cavs last night. This is what now? Back-to-back losses for Cleveland?
Yeah, I'm not really worried.
You're not concerned.
No.
Who do you have your eye on in the Eastern Conference?
I have to look. Hold on.
Well, I'm concerned.
You're concerned about
this
the Cavs?
is a little bit. Yeah, let me explain why. I'm concerned about the small backcourt, and I'm concerned that teams are going to start searching those guys out, especially Darius Garland. They're 8 points worse defensively when Darius Garland is in the game. He's top 10 for his players being hunted out, and I just think when you look at a team, because here's the thing: the measuring stick with the Cavs is the Celtics. It's like I would say it's like an 80% chance that those two teams meeting up in the NBA finals. I mean, conference finals. So that's your measuring stick. I look at the Celtics, just their starting five. It's no drop off on both sides of the basketball. But all of those guys defend the hell out of the basketball. There's no mismatches. There's no, we're going to search out Drew Holiday. Or we're going to search out Derek White. We're going to search out Jason. No, it ain't none of that shit. The Cavs, you can search out Donovan Mitchell. You can search out Darius Garland. That's kind of, that is a problem. And remember, that growth period that we saw in Steph Curry when he won his fourth NBA championship was what? Not only was he producing and putting on the show offensively, but the Celtics were trying the same damn thing. We're going to search Steph out. And then all of a sudden you saw Golden State go away. Hell, y'all did it. Fuck, when y'all won y'all championship. And then all of a sudden we saw Steph, he started going away from that little show and get back to in the Boston series. He like, fuck that. I'm switching. Y'all want to throw it down to Al Horford? Come here. Hand. I'm taking the hit. Miss. Like, he manned the fuck up defensively.
And got stopped. And to your point, right? Let's go down the list. We don't have to go starting five for Darius Garland, right? Is Peyton Pritchard or Darius Garland a better defender? Peyton Pritchard. What's his name? What's his name?
Hauser.
Sam Hauser. Sam Hauser's the better defender. You're talking about what?
It might be even.
No, I think people.
No, I'm not disrespecting them.
No, and I'm not. I'm saying Hauser's 6'9". He's like 6'7", whatever. He's a big boy, and people target him, and he still does a good job. My point is, they have 7 defenders that are better than where DG is at currently. And I think DG has more that he can give to the team. But that just shows like he's going to have to defend at a high level if they were to play against the Celtics. That's the one thing about that you're like, okay, they have to go prove it. Now they can shoot the ball, and if let's take ego out, last 3 minutes of a game, if you're there with Max Strus, DeAndre Hunter, Donovan Mitchell, you're there with like Evan Mobley, and then that you know what I'm saying? They have a lineup that they can go big defensively and not have DG on the floor in the last 3 minutes that makes the Celtics actually have to hoop against some fairly legitimate defenders. That's the depth that the Cavs have. Now that sucks to take off but again, we've seen it, offense, defense. We've seen a lot of situations in where, they can cause some problems. That's what DeAndre Hunter adds, a big wing defender that allows you the versatility, like to either add another wing guy for the last 3 minutes or add DG.
I think DG's been working on it, but it's just like when the Cavs are so good, it's a lot. But in the playoffs, people can hunt and they will say, we are willing. You shoot 12 shots, you're now getting 16 if he's on you. That got to feel a certain way to their defense, because when they get out and get stops, and offensively, Cleveland is just so good. Do I believe in Darius Garland? Yes. Do I believe in Darius Garland versus the Celtics in the playoffs? Now, that would be the only what if.
Let me
And
take
he's
you
not built like Kyle Lowry, where Kyle Lowry was undersized, but dude, you'd never want to post him up. He built like a tree stump. Yeah.
You just put that ass on you.
Let me take you to the bottom half of the top six in the East, between the Pacers, the Bucks, and the Pistons, because they're all separated by a game. And you look at their schedule over the last 14 or so, they only have like 3 or 4 games versus top teams in the conference or in the West. How do you see that finishing out between Milwaukee, Indy, and Detroit?
I got Indiana, Detroit, Milwaukee.
You have Detroit finishing ahead of Milwaukee. You have Milwaukee at 6.
Yeah. I just don't. When I watch them, I don't know what it is. It is something. It's not that Giannis isn't trying or Dame isn't trying. I'm just going to say Detroit, their biggest what if is, they're young. Do they have enough legs to keep pushing? And then Indiana the other night, without Tyrese Halliburton, Miles Turner, Pascal Siakam, went out and won a big-time game. And they were looking good. Like, we sleep on Indiana, but like defensively, they're doing a lot better. They're locked in. And one more thing, as a coach, I believe in Rick Carlisle as a coach in the playoffs. Bless you. I just over other coaches.
No, I agree. I think when you start looking at some of those Eastern Conference teams, there's a jumble there. There is a jumble there, but I like where Orlando is. Where Detroit is, because if they finish where they are, they would get the Knicks, and I think that would be a fun matchup. The Milwaukee Pacers, you know how those teams feel about each other. You know how they. So I don't know. It's Detroit. I don't know where
is Milwaukee just an afterthought?
No, they just still have more to figure out. They have more to figure out, and they've been playing better basketball in the last 3 months. Because remember where they started those first 2 months, it was tough. But adding Porter and adding Kuzma, that helped them. Now they have 2 athletic young wings, which are like very coveted in this league. That to me helps them quite a bit, but they still got to figure it out.
I mean, at this point, Milwaukee playing with house money. And when I say playing with house money, it's because no one expecting them to do a damn thing, include myself, right? But here's the thing. That might be a dangerous thing for the rest of the league.
Agreed.
Like Giannis and Dame, like hearing the disrespect that they're actually underdogs coming into the series. Is that really what we want to see? Hell yeah. I want to see a pissed off Giannis. Mm-hmm. I want to see a pissed off Dame. I want to see that shit. So again, am I picking the Milwaukee Bucks? Fuck no, I'm not.
Would it be the Bucks versus Pacers? We know that series. We know those teams understand each other, right? And the Pacers don't. So then after that, it would be Detroit versus the Knicks currently.
Who you taking?
Detroit versus the Knicks was tough because the Knicks aren't healthy, but
yeah, Yeah, who are you
when healthy, I'm taking the Knicks in that series, because where the Knicks struggle, they struggle against 3-point shooting teams because they have a bit of a smaller guard, and then Karl Anthony Towns in that drop, or him trying to guard. So I'm taking the Knicks in that first round. I'm taking the Knicks in that first round because Detroit doesn't have enough of that. But then after that, no. I don't know why you're making that face. That is the most rational, logical fucking statement for Knicks versus Pistons.
Why are you cursing, bro? All I'm saying, I was making a face because everybody on here then been to the postseason at any level, and we know how thick is that fucking playbook? How long are those fucking meetings when it's time for the scout report? Like, this is what I'm saying, man, especially in the first round when you have 3 to maybe 5 days to prepare. What I'm saying is this, man. That inexperience when it comes down to the Detroit Pistons is gonna come to hurt them. It's gonna hurt them, right? AK. Guess what? The half little traps and contains that you were seeing maybe in the postseason. No. Those are gonna become full out blitzes until you give up the ball. And guess what? You're not gonna get the ball back because they're gonna deny you. And guess what? Those driving lanes that you had, they're not gonna be open. Guess what? Those isolations on the post ups, a trap is coming from the baseline or the top. So I'm thinking about who could actually be the best player in that series that we could be talking about. Even if Jalen Brunson is not 100%, let's not act like Karl Anthony Towns is not one of them.
He is.
This motherfucker's having an all-NBA season this season. This motherfucker actually outplayed Nikola Jokic last year in the second round. Because if you go and you think about it, think about this. Anthony Edwards really wasn't playing that well offensively throughout that series. He wasn't. He go look at the numbers. He struggled. Karl Anthony Towns was making love to Jokic. Karl Anthony Towns was fucking sitting up there guarding Jokic on that low block when they took Rudy out. Like Karl Anthony Towns, he got the experience. OG Anunoby, he got the experience.
Mitchell Robinson.
You talk about dogs, like Josh Hart is a fucking, like, that's
what kind of dog is he?
So I'm just kind of like,
like a Jack Russell Terrier.
Look, I'm with JB Bickerstaff. Dog, they have done it. They are the biggest, they're the most surprising team this year. But let's not jump the gun here. No. Going home in the first round.
But that's where we all agree. Okay.
I just thought it was a little tougher to make that decision. No big deal. All right, let's finish out this podcast. We got a couple of minutes with give me a hot take.
Oh.
Let's go around the horn. Do you want a hot take or do you want to do what has your panties in a bunch presented by Skims, not Skims?
Ooh, panties in a bunch. Hold on. Oh,
I got one.
What?
My God.
Oh.
No, you don't know. Jaren Jackson Jr.
Is this a hot take or a panties in a bunch?
This is a hot take.
Okay.
Hold on, let me go. Hold on. I want to make sure I have it completely accurate. Jaren Jackson Jr. is averaging 5.6 rebounds a game. He's averaging 5, and I know his rebounding numbers are never this and that, but it's just it's 5.5. Like last season, he averaged 5.5. The season before, he averaged 6.8. His career rebounding numbers are 5.6.
Those are Channing Frye numbers.
His career averages are 5.6. And to me, that is, he's too good. He's too big. He's too athletic, right? I don't understand that. I'm not a traditional big. So can you tell me this, Big Perk? How do you do this? How is that?
I don't know. That's my career average. It's 5.
I was about to say that's Perk.
He goes for blocks, Richard.
But that's the thing. Lots of guys go for blocks. Lots of guys go for blocks.
How many guys go for blocks and shoot threes?
I guarantee you, we could find multiple guards that average more than that. And that's what I'm saying. As a defensive player of the year, and I'm not saying this as like his team is playing well. You always look at where can you get more. How is it that your numbers are consistently there? Like I had years where I averaged 7 rebounds. Like my career is 4. My career high, I averaged 7.3, 6.8. But that's what I'm saying. I'm just like, you're a defensive player of the year. You're one of the best bigs in basketball. 5 rebounds, come on. 5 rebounds, you can accidentally get 5 rebounds.
Talk to Brooke Lopez, who's 2 inches tall.
Okay, so that actually has your panties in a bunch. That's not a hot take.
Well, no, that's not a hot take. That's why I said, I got something, just because I think he's too good. And again, Brooke Lopez, that was one of the criticisms about him, right? And he got unlocked when they put him next to KG and put him next to Giannis, somebody that's rebounding like an actual monster. So when you talked about Perk, about can Memphis do something, like Ja's got to be their best. Ja's got to elevate his game back to Ja. Jaren Jackson Jr.'s got to keep doing that 22. He's got to keep doing that. But he also got to get you got to give me 7. You got to give me 7. I'm not asking for a lot. 7.
That's the year he won. That's the year he won Defensive Player of the Year. Yeah,
like that's what I'm saying. Just keep 7. The fact that they gave Defensive Player of the Year to somebody that averaged 7 rebounds and block shot. I think he led the league in block shots that year. I get that, but like,
and then the year before.
Yeah, you can't give me 5.
5th on the list at 5.
You can't give me 5 rebounds. Like that's
actually kind of deep in the bag, Rich. How long have you been sitting on that one?
I just saw those numbers. I just saw them. And I was like, wait, what?
Here's my gripe. Quentin Grimes.
No, what's your panties in a bunch?
Panties in a bunch.
I don't wear panties. I got boxer briefs. We're good.
They definitely are bunching if you got boxer briefs.
What we are not talking about who's going on a all-time historic run on an all-time historic bad team. Who's on a Jeremy Lin heater from the 76ers.
Oh, Quentin Grimes.
Yeah.
Quentin Grimes is going to fuck up the Philadelphia 76ers whole situation because he's like, oh, y'all gonna play me? I'm gonna get this 30. I'm gonna get this 40. Because, okay, so we were looking at it. Right now, as where they're at, they are 50-50 chance of giving their 7 to 10 pick.
They're gonna start sitting his ass.
They can't. Richard, they can't.
They don't have enough rosters.
They don't have roster space, and the G League guys that they were playing only have so many games left.
Yeah.
So they have to play him. The problem is he's cooking because he wants a job.
Yeah, so as he should.
I was going to say, are you mad about that? No, right? Like he's doing what he's supposed
because
to do.
Are you mad about it? I love it.
I'm mad for him that he's doing this on that team.
Go do it.
No, he's gonna do it.
He's gonna
do it. But he's gonna get shut down pretty soon. Something's gonna happen. They're gonna have to say, "Hey, we have to cool him off."
Well, there's no way they're gonna make the Houston. There's no way they're not gonna make the play.
No. But they have to be in the top 6 of the lottery. It's top 6 protected. So if they get the 7th pick, it goes to OKC. They need that pick to move Paul George, or nobody's going to take Embiid, but to move somebody. So if they don't have a pick this year, they're stuck with this team all next year. So it makes me in a bunch is, one, this dude's been on 4 teams in 2 years, and he's out here cooking everyone except for Boston. I think he only had like 6 points that game, but his team sucks. But like Houston, they were damn near ready to die. And he was balling. I think he had 40. He had a cool, I was like, if I was just watching basketball, I woke up from a coma, I was like, yo, this dude got to be an all-star.
Yeah, he was hooping.
He has been hooping. He's on an all-time historic run. Made my panties in a bunch because he should be doing this on another team. He should be a 6th man somewhere. Shout out Quentin Grimes.
Perk.
Russell Westbrook is a top 5 point guard of all time. Of all time. Don't shut up. Don't come talking to me about CP3. Don't come talking to me about Derrick Rose. Russell Westbrook, and the reason I bring up Russell Westbrook is what he did the other night, the triple-double against Golden State, reminded me of who this man is, right? Okay, you could put the big O, you could put Magic Johnson, you could even put up Steph, you could put up John Stockton. Russell Westbrook, guess what? Number 5. Number fucking 5. You can't name me another point guard that has had a better career resume than Russell Westbrook. We talk about Jokic this season finally averaging a triple-double for the first time. We talked about the big O. Oh, he did it twice. Russ did it 4. He did it 4. No matter how you want to slice it and dice it, he did it 4 fucking times. He has an MVP. This is my rant. I don't want to hear nothing else after this. Allie, when I finish, you end the call. Okay? I don't want to even hear what Richard or Shannon got to say. All I know is that Russell
Westbrook. You don't need me no more? Okay.
Russell Westbrook is a
One box him. I'll see you guys later.
Russell Westbrook is a top 5 point guard of all time. Period.
It's another edition of Road Trippin, as per guest.